In the powerful words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done. This sentiment embodies the essence of a man whose life was a testament to resilience and determination. Born into the Madiba clan in the small village of Mvezo Transkei on the 18th of July, 1918, Nelson Mandela was destined for a path less traveled. His childhood was marked by the influence of his family's status within their community, a status that instilled in him the values of leadership and service from a very young age. His educational journey took him to the University College of Fort Hare, a prestigious institution that served as the breeding ground for many African leaders. It was here that Mandela got his first taste of politics, a spark that would ignite a lifelong passion for justice and equality. These formative years were the beginning of Mandela's journey, shaping the leader he would become. The fire of revolution was ignited within Mandela during his time in Johannesburg. This bustling city, a hotbed of political activity, was where Mandela's journey towards becoming a beacon of freedom and hope took flight. It was here, in the year of 1941, that Mandela found himself entrenched in the throes of anti-colonial politics, a world far removed from his humble beginnings. As Mandela immersed himself in the city's political landscape, he gravitated towards the African National Congress, the ANC. Formed in 1912, the ANC sought to dismantle the country's systemic racial segregation. In 1943, Mandela made the decision to join the ANC, marking the first step of his active involvement in the fight against apartheid. The Defiance Campaign, launched in 1952, was a turning point in South Africa's struggle for freedom. Mandela was instrumental in the campaign, leading non-violent acts of defiance against the unjust apartheid laws. His leadership did not go unnoticed, as he soon found himself in the crosshairs of the oppressive regime. In 1955, Mandela played a pivotal role in the Congress of the People, a gathering that resulted in the Freedom Charter. This document, a blueprint for a democratic, non-racial South Africa, became a cornerstone of the ANC's vision for the nation. However, the path to freedom was not an easy one. In December of 1956, Mandela, along with 155 others, was arrested and charged with treason. The ensuing treason trial, a grueling ordeal that lasted until 1961, sought to silence Mandela and his allies. Yet, in the face of this adversity, they did not waver. Through all the trials and tribulations, Mandela's commitment to the cause remained unflinching. Despite the threats and the imprisonment, he continued to fight for a just, equitable South Africa. His resilience and determination were testament to his unwavering belief in the possibility of change. In the face of adversity, Mandela remained steadfast, his dedication to the cause of freedom unwavering. This was not just a fight for Mandela. It was a fight for the freedom of an entire nation. In 1962, Mandela was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment, beginning what would be known as his long walk to freedom. This journey was not embarked upon in the open veld or city streets, but within the confines of a prison cell on Robben Island. Picture this: an island prison located just off the coast of Cape Town, notorious for its harsh conditions and brutal treatment of prisoners. Mandela, however, did not let these circumstances dampen his spirit or deter his mission. Instead, he used this time to further educate himself, engage with his fellow prisoners, and continue his struggle for freedom. The Rivonia trial, named after the suburb of Johannesburg, where several key members of the African National Congress were arrested, was a pivotal moment in Mandela's life. It was here that he delivered his famous speech declaring, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." His words were not lost within the walls of the courtroom, but echoed throughout South Africa and around the world. Even from behind bars, his voice was powerful, his resolve unwavering. He became a symbol of resistance against apartheid, his name synonymous with the struggle for freedom and equality. While Mandela was imprisoned, a global campaign for his release began to gain momentum. The United Nations called for his release, and protesters worldwide rallied to his cause. Songs were sung, poems were written, and art was created, all in honor of Mandela and his fight for freedom. The world was watching, and the pressure on the South African government was mounting. Yet through it all, Mandela remained steadfast. He continued his studies, wrote letters, and even drafted the beginnings of his autobiography. He never lost hope, never lost sight of his goal. He was not merely surviving in prison, he was preparing for the day he would walk free. Even from a prison cell, Mandela's voice echoed around the globe, inspiring millions. After 27 long years of imprisonment, Mandela was finally released in 1990, but his fight was far from over. In the years following his release, Nelson Mandela emerged not as a hardened convict, but as a hopeful peacemaker. His unyielding spirit and determination to end apartheid, a brutal system of racial segregation that had divided South Africa for decades, remained unbroken. Mandela knew that bringing an end to apartheid was only the first step. He envisioned a South Africa that was not just free of racial divide, but one that was truly democratic. This vision led him to engage in intense negotiations with then-President F.W. de Klerk for the peaceful end of apartheid and the establishment of a democratic South Africa. Their joint efforts would later earn them the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. Yet, the most significant testament to Mandela's triumph of peace came in the following year. In 1994, South Africa held its first ever democratic elections. The elections were a historic moment, not just for South Africa, but for the world. For the first time in the country's history, citizens of all races were allowed to vote. The result? Nelson Mandela, a man who had spent nearly 3 decades in prison fighting for this very moment, was elected as the country's first black president. His presidential term from 1994 to 1999 was marked by efforts to reconcile a nation that had been torn apart by racial strife. He championed policies of reconciliation and negotiation, and worked tirelessly to heal the wounds that apartheid had inflicted on his people. Mandela's dream of a free and equal South Africa had finally become a reality. His triumph was not just in ending apartheid or becoming president, but in showing the world the power of peace, forgiveness, and unwavering determination. His legacy serves as a beacon of hope, a testament to the fact that no matter how insurmountable the challenges may seem, peace always has the final victory. Nelson Mandela left an indelible mark not just on South Africa, but on the world. His life was a testament to resilience, courage, and an unwavering commitment to justice. From his early years as a freedom fighter, through his grueling 27 years in prison, to his inspiring rise to the presidency of South Africa, Mandela's journey was nothing short of extraordinary. His impact on global politics and civil rights was profound. He championed the cause of equality, challenging entrenched systems of oppression, and his efforts were recognized globally when he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Mandela's influence extended far beyond his lifetime. Even after his death in 2013, his legacy continues to inspire millions around the globe, shaping societies and driving movements for justice and peace. In the words of Mandela himself, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived, it is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead."